with an essay for Professor Notley.
He writes a lot of essays, I notice, young Frank. Twice as many as the professor's other students.
Oh, Zoe, darling, your ears aren't covered. Oh, and you have a fever. Oh, Doris, do you think Zoe has a fever?
No.
Oh, it's the end of the world out there. It's so damp. I will never get used to this English weather. My husband, too, is very English. He sees a refining force in hardship. The professor insists on daily walks for the children, whatever the weather.
Which means chilblains for the nursemaids as well as the children.
Men have their principles. Women pay for them.
Really? And the nursemaids more than anyone.
Perhaps Doris should come with us when we go. We will be the lovers. She will be the jester. Love can become altogether too serious.
Come with us? Where? How?
When we elope. We have to elope. We can't be apart.
Stop it. I'm a woman with 3 children.
You're more woman than mother, Susan. I know you well. And you're a woman married to the wrong man in the wrong country. How can a woman soft and full of life and ripe as you live with a husband as dry and arid and full of mind as Professor Ernest Notley?
He is my children's father.
You mean you place your children above love? You are like other women, after all base animal instinct, no spirit. You're just an ordinary faithless wife amusing yourself with some wretched young man fool enough to take it seriously. I take it very badly.
That is not true. I have been torn to bits.
Later, when settled, the children can come and join us. Doris will look after them well enough in the meantime. We will go somewhere warm and rich. France or Italy. You will never freeze again. You will never again dine off shepherd's pie and boiled cabbage, English style. All your senses will be gratified. The whole world is out there, Susan.
How would we live? You're just a boy. All you know is how to talk and be a student.
You have enough money for both of us, and I'll finish my novel and be rich and famous, I promise you. And you'll be proud of me. And the whole world will know you are my inspiration. What's the matter?
Supposing he comes home. Supposing he forgets something. Supposing he comes back.
Suppose. Don't you trust fate at all? Fate is on the side of lovers.
Lovers? I never meant it to happen. What am I to do?
Board was too full. Water up over the running before. No turning back now.
Thank you, Edward. Morning, Frank. Isn't it lovely?
Fair enough. Puts me in mind of those mornings on the Somme. 20,000 said good morning. So it was. And in the evening, where were they?
How poetical, Mr. Sutton. You make me feel quite practical and ordinary.
Lucky, more like it. Can I offer you a present of a string of garlic? It's a pity to see it wither on the bough, and the people round here won't touch it. Well, I tried. A tomato's exotic round here.
Well, wrap it up, Frank. But I'm in the hands of the cooks as far as culinary matters go, and I don't think she'd take it too kindly. How's business?
Booming. As far as potatoes, cabbage and carrots are concerned, there's no profit in them. How's yours?
Please stop gapping and come up. There is work to be done. There is, dearie.
children. He, a professor of English literature, their mother recently dead, wishes someone to help out in the temporary absence of the maid-of-all work, who has to go to her brother's funeral. Well, that's the gist of it anyway on the telephone. I asked her to come in, but she wouldn't. I thought you might do it, Babs. It's in Bedford Park. There we are.
A garden suburb, Babs, full of sculptors, socialists and free thinkers.
A nursemaid? Me? Why me?
Because I'm feeding someone's parrot all week. You said you hated parrots. And she's bringing red roses from Dover to Henley. You said roses make you sneeze. And ladies in charge still cannot afford to turn down jobs, so there's only you.
You might even have to wash up, Babs.
Oh, Vicky, don't be so beastly. I've said I'll do anything, and I will.
All the same, someone else's knives and forks.
Can't we farm it out?
What? And take 10% instead of 100%?
Oh, you are a businesswoman.
And what are you doing? Playing? A rich girl taking the bread out of a poor girl's mouth.
What are their names?
Very strange for anywhere but Bedford Park. Hera, Athena, and Zoe. Poor little things.
I'll do it.
Are the children's names relevant?
Yes. I can't bear anything ordinary, not anymore. Perhaps I'll fall in love with the professor. Do you know, I have never been in love. It's a great misfortune to be born into the aristocracy. They're probably the most boring people in the world. The men have no chins and are impossible to love. It's so much more fun with the servants. All the same. Imagine falling in love with one's butler.
I brought you some garlic.
What, Miss Stubbs? Will you cook it with meat? Flavours it. All France smells of it. The French are the best cooks in the world.
Is there anything wrong with the meat I cook? Have there been complaints I don't know about?
Oh, no, I didn't mean that. It's just I'm sure Grandmother would love it if only she knew.
Miss Babs, don't you think you should be changing for dinner? Her ladyship wouldn't want you to be late again.
War was so much easier than peace. Mrs. Harris, could I borrow some of your clothes?
You what?
Well, it's just I've got to play a part, and I want to start from the ground up and do it properly, but well, I need to know what it feels like. Cotton underwear, and if you have a flannel Liberty bodice
Miss
that I could
Babs,
use.
if you want to play me in some sort of fancy dress charade, that's your affair. But I'm the cook here, not your nanny.
Sorry. I didn't mean to get...
No, I've upset everyone. Miss Babs, what's the matter with you? You shouldn't be talking about underwear and Liberty bodices in front of Williams. Here's a man. Go back upstairs. I think so, Miss Babs.
Hello. Who did you expect?
Children, go back to the dining room at once. You know you're not allowed at the front door.
Well, the ladies in charge agency sent me. The temporary nursemaid.
Then what are you doing at the front door? Go round to the side entrance.
That's better. We're dressed up. Where are the children? They're very silent.
Looking at books, I expect. They are very quiet. No trouble at all. The father is strict, but that's as it should be. They were living in the north, but the mother died suddenly. He moved south. He works in his study a lot. He's a professor of something, I don't know what. He's writing a book. Sometimes he goes out to lecture, I believe. You must get breakfast at 8, lunch at noon, and tea at 5. The children have just started school. You're to take them there and back, talking to no one. The professor likes to keep himself to himself, and that goes for the children. I'm not surprised. Bedford Park, artists and socialists and such. It's hardly safe to go out.
So, there's no cook, no parlour maid, just a maid of all work.
And nursemaids. They come and go. I'm perfectly happy when they're gone. I prefer a small household. Better and quicker if I do all the work myself. Unfortunately, my brother has died. The funeral's in Scotland. I'll be away for a week. I'm sorry. He deserved it.
What?
He was a drinker and a fornicator. God sees to it that wrongdoers are removed fairly promptly from this earth. I'm going only for my mother's sake. I hear the professor coming in. I'll take you up to see him, then I can get on.
He must be very upset, losing his wife so suddenly. And the little girls, all in black. Why do children have to wear black? Is that usual?
The professor thinks it best. They have trouble accepting their mother's passed away. He thought it might help.
Oh. Is that why they ran to the door?
Yes. They do that if they're not stopped. Sometimes it gets quite spooky. Do you believe in ghosts? No. No. Neither do I. People are either in heaven or hell. From the sound of it, the mother's probably in hell.
What do you mean?
I'll show you to your room. And when you've tidied up, I'll take you to see the professor.
Tidied up? Am I untidy?
Well, your hair is not as it should be.
I'm here to work, not fall in love.
Did you say something?
No.
In my job, it's important to look your best, particularly on long overseas flights. That's why I wear ESP Stay Fast lipstick by Yardley. It keeps my lips soft and moist throughout the day or night. ESP Stay Fast really is a stay-on lipstick that's never left behind. With ESP Stay Fast, I don't need to touch up until we touch down. And now there's ESP Stay Fast for my nails too, the long-wearing nail makeup.
Buy now, pay September. Make any purchase of £50 or more and there's nothing to pay until September. Like these versatile Toshiba microwave ovens, or these reliable Hotpoint fridge freezers and washing machines. Get down to your electricity board shop for a spring bargain and pay nothing until September.
Pain. When it seems locked in for the day, you need a painkiller that gives relief, even in migraine headaches. Nurofen contains only ibuprofen, the first alternative painkiller for 25 years. A breakthrough in pain relief because it's now available without prescription. Ask your pharmacist for Nurofen. It's easy to swallow and fast-acting. Nurofen, for the gentle relief of locked-in pain.
Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Hey, where do you think you're going, bud?
Ecuador.
Eastern Airlines have more flights out of Miami than the next 8 major airlines put together.
Hey, Nicholas.
That's how many pilots you got.
4,479.
Eastern Airlines. London to Miami daily and beyond.
The man from Del Monte knows that nature has always packed its fruit with juice. So now we do the same. Fruit in juice from Del Monte. The refreshingly natural taste that tells you there's no added sugar. One more way for you to say yes to the best. Del Monte.
Come. Oh, the new nursemaid, yes.
Yes, sir. Bad, sir. Temper, sir, and maid of all work while Hetty is away.
We will call you Doris. I trust you don't object. The children are used to it. The fewer changes in their lives, the better. We've had quite enough already.
The face will change, sir. There's no getting over that. Shall I put some more coal on the fire, sir? You must be cold.
I do not feel the cold, and wasting coal is wasting money. I do not believe in wasting money. You do have references?
Oh, yes, sir, very good ones. Shall I show you?
No, I believe you. You're only here for a short time. I imagine you could not do my children much harm.
Thank you, sir.
You will see to their physical welfare and leave their emotional, spiritual, and educational development to me. They have no mother. That must be the father's role.
It may be difficult to separate the one from the other, Professor Notley. If I comb their hair, I shall do it kindly or unkindly, and they'll notice and copy me. A child's life is a whole, not divided into compartments. If you will excuse me, sir, speaking my mind.
How long are you here for?
A week, sir.
And I expect we will see the week out. The children will not leave this house without my permission. You will escort them to the school door each morning and home again. You will not leave them at the gate. You will allow them to speak with no one. No one.
They may have their school friends back, sir.
No, they may not.
Sir!
I want no argument, miss.
My wages, sir?
12 shillings a week, Thursdays and Sundays free. You may spend the Thursday nights away if you live with your family, do you?
Yes, sir.
I take it they are respectable.
Yes, sir.
There has been a 20% rise in servants' wages since the war. Many young women find their independence in munition factories and so forth. They no longer flock into service as they once did. Well, it is inconvenient for employers, but no bad thing for society.
Thank you, sir.
And Doris,
Yes, sir.
I am quite pleased. It is no bad thing for my children to have an intelligent nurse.
Thank you, sir.
Life has been difficult lately.
I was so sorry to hear of your bereavement. What are you doing? Oh, I'm cooking supper. What's that smell? Garlic. I'm making a nice, rich bœuf en daube. At one time, Vicky and I were billeted in a French household, and I used to watch Madame cooking. It's the first time I have ever had my own spoon.
But the children will never eat that, nor will the professor. He insists on plain food. No spices, nothing rich. Children who eat spicy food grow up to be, well, you know.
How do they grow up?
Well, rich food inflames the senses, doesn't it? Don't you know anything?
Not much, it seems.
That's why foreigners are the way they are. I haven't got time to sort things out now. Why don't you drain that muck out of the pan and add a nice white sauce?
The perks of employment. I have gained a parrot. No one on return to claim. You have 6 dozen red roses Lady Wilde refused, and quite rightly. I wonder what Babs will bring back at the end of the week.
True love, perhaps.
That's all she wants. Oh, that old thing. Harder to come by than anything. At least she took the job. Domestic work isn't everyone's cup of tea.
I suppose one day there'll be a world without servants. Then how will we manage? Do our own?
Oh, I shudder to think.
Come in.
Philip.
Suppose you know about parrots, old thing. It's a nasty disease called psittacosis.
I know. I looked it up. I think I'm safe. Why are you here? I thought you disapproved.
Well, it's not my idea of a lark, I'll say that. Only a greengrocer between you and the riffraff. Seems a decent enough fellow if the chap has to be a Democrat, managed.
I'm afraid he does, Philip. Increasingly.
Heard Babs was living in somewhere. Should a fellow go and take a look?
Oh!
Another.
Oh, just another thorn. Why do people send roses? Daisies would be much less painful.
That's why they send them. The pain of love, as well as the pleasure.
Can't a fellow get any attention round here?
No more than if he were a woman.
I say, that's going rather far.
But yes, if you want Babs's address, you can have it. She may need a friend. Not all roses out there.
Unless you're going to say it's bad for children to sit on soft cushions.
Well, it's certainly bad for the posture and for the back, Doris.
I'm going to sit.
No talking at table. It's bad for the digestion. Silence this minute. You'll go to bed with no supper. Doris. Eat up.
Why are so many people called Doris? Dean is talking. She's not allowed to talk. I'm sleeping like
Please. Father will hear and come back. Do you like the stew? It's called bœuf en daube. It's French. It's education, isn't it?
There's Mummy again. At the window.
There was a face at the window. I saw it, just for a moment, then it was gone.
Perhaps it was the window cleaner.
At night? The professor's too stingy to employ a window cleaner.
So who does it?
I do. Vicky, Diana, it is no joke. You have no idea how sad that household is. How are those poor little things going to grow up? If I was their mother, I'd haunt as I would. I'd find my way back from the grave somehow. No visitors, no talking at meals, the tiniest fire in the grate.
Parents do their best for you. Sometimes they're cruel to be kind.
I don't believe that. I wish I did. I think they're just cruel to be cruel. Sometimes I just wish I'd done as everyone said and stayed at home and gone to Ascot and never known what the world was like. They're right. At this rate, I won't be fit to be married to anyone.
Where are you going?
to a hot bath in a warm bathroom with Elsie Jenkins to bring me heated towels. Poor Elsie. I don't suppose the staff bathroom's heated. If there is a bathroom, do you know I don't even know that?
Well, don't you look special? Mrs. Harris. I'm sorry.
What for?
I'm such a fool.
Oh, no, you're not, Miss Babs. You're full of ideas. You always have been. And if the young can't be, who can be?
I brought your Liberty bodice back. It's all right. Williams isn't about. Won't you be needing it anymore? I feel so much better with silk underneath. Who wouldn't? How do you make shepherd's pie?
So his ears aren't covered. Mummy pulls up her collar, like this. And then she feels her head to see if she has a fever, like this. Mummy doesn't live with us anymore.
No. She lives in heaven.
No, she doesn't. She lives round the corner.
Gloves, Zoe? Oh, what pretty gloves.
Mummy knitted them.
Come along, girls. Thank you, sir. All the things. How they miss their mother.
They miss their mother, not one whit.
Jane and Martha were triple easier off the tongue.
My brother with Mummy's glove.
Come along, Zoe. We'll be late for school. It might be anywhere. I'll look on the way home.
You must be Doris. Yes. Hetty told me you'd be bringing the children to the meet.
Oh, hello, Dara. Athena.
Zoe. Charming names. Little strange, of course. Poor little motherless things. They need to go out and play with the other children, learn to laugh and shout. Professor Notley insists they stay in at playtime. Sets them apart from their little friends. It isn't kind to them. I'm sure he can't realize. Do try and speak to him. I'm so glad they have you, even if only for a short while. Someone young and cheerful. A gloomy household, I'm afraid. First their mother's death, now poor Hetty's sister. Poor Hetty's sister? I thought her brother died. Oh, did she say that? Hetty's poor sister, I suppose I should say. Never mind, mum's the word. Not our business, as long as it doesn't reflect on the children. Not that I'm one to think that immorality is catching, like the measles. 3:30 on the dot, since the garden is out of bounds for the poor wee mice.
Poor Ed's sister. What a thing to happen. Buried in unconsecrated ground. She can't go to heaven now. And don't you know? No. Ed's sister done wrong. She had a little baby. Told no one. Jumped off Westminster Bridge she did with a little thing clasped to her. Was only 3 weeks old. Well, somebody saw him, and people fished him out. Little baby was dead. But not Etty's sister, not quite. No such luck. They put her in hospital, and then when she was better, they put her on trial. The judge put on his black cap and said she was to be hanged twice, he said. Once for murdering the baby, and once for the crime of suicide. She only had one neck. It was in all the papers. Yeah, what's the matter with you? Mind you, if she'd done it a week earlier, she'd have only been hanged once for suicide. The baby would have been infanticide. But that runs out after 2 weeks. Oh, poor Etty's mother's in a terrible state. That's why Etty took the week off. If you ask me, Etty's sister's better off dead the way this world is to women. She was only 17.
Ways and means, old girl. Ways and means. I must say, I admire your pluck.
Oh, do go away, Philip. You are what is known as a follower in the kitchen. You're not allowed.
The jolly wheeze, might you lose your job?
Yes, I might. Only the professor's away for a couple of days. But sit down now you're here. It's lonely. Goblins and ghosties and three-legged beasties, you know.
What are you doing?
It's called washing up.
Messy sort of business?
Yes.
Tiring. Personally, I prefer to sit down after a meal. Can't digest it properly otherwise.
Who wouldn't? Philip, why are you here?
How can I put it? You're a hard girl to forget, perhaps. When you gave me the old heave-ho, I was fairly cut up.
You gave me the old heave-ho, Philip. You wouldn't put money into ladies in charge.
Lady doesn't borrow from a gentleman. Fella might be a cad. Look at me, Babs. Stop it. And look at me. No, I'm nothing special. Face like the back of a bus. Can't string two words together. No brain, not like you. Knew nothing about the world. When has the army found out? Another place, isn't it? Little men. Rats. Why? No food out there. No education. Bad housing. All that. Something's got to be done. Hoped we could keep the women out of it. They couldn't. Look at you. Rot got to you, too. Look at your hands. They're like a washerwoman.
Now, mend.
Will you marry me? Fact of the matter is, old girl, can't live without you. Well,
thank you, Philip. I'll think about it. Only, could you go now, please? It's just that I'm alone in the house and people might talk. worse than having you out there.
When a headache really gets you down, you need fast relief. Anodin Extra Relief. Anodin Extra contains 40% more active pain reliever than many other regular products. In fact, there is no stronger pain reliever generally available to help get you back to your normal self fast. That's Anodin Extra for you.
When you work all day and you cook at night, when just getting home seems one long fight, it just has to be electricity.
Electricity's much less work to come home to. Double ovens combined with built-in microwaves, easy to clean ceramic hobs, automatic timers.
'Cause it's hard to find just a moment free to relax and talk with the family. It just has to be electricity. Helps you take control so easily.
Cook Electric. Take control. Polyfoam Perm. Step 1. Completely absorbed. Step 2. Complete perfection. Beautiful hair. Polyfoam Perm. Whatever type of hair you've got. Whatever kind of curls you want. Polyfoam Perm. Easier, cleaner, more controllable. Polyfoam. All in the cause of the perfect perm.
Martini Extra Dry. The cool, crisp taste shines through. Have it with or without. With friends. With pleasure. Martini Extra Dry. It's there to be discovered.
Chanel number 19. Witty. Devastatingly feminine. Number 19. The outspoken Chanel.
Why was she sick? Does she have a fever?
No. It's nothing. Believe me, I trained at first aid. She has a good color. She's sleeping soundly.
I've been watching you. You're not an ordinary housemaid.
No.
Why are you here? Does he mean to marry you?
No, heavens, no.
If he'd be free to marry, he could. I wouldn't blame him. He must be cold and lonely without a wife. Not as cold and lonely as it is for me. Does he tell them I'm dead?
Yes.
It's better that way. Who wants a whore for a wife? That's what he called me. Who wants an adulteress for a mother? That's what I am. Here, take Zoe, whoever you are. You can't be worse than me.
What's the matter with you? Should I fetch someone?
There's no one to fetch. My family live in Belgium. How can I tell them what I've done? I didn't mean it to happen. It was just so cold and dumb. I would be better dead. But how can I leave the children?
Stop this! It's an indulgence. You're so full of self-pity, it's impossible to feel sorry for you.
My mind just goes round and round. I can't stop it.
She did stop it in the end. She went home. Or passes for home. She's taken some rooms where she can watch the children going back and forth to school. The professor must know. That's why we're not supposed to talk to anyone. She ought to be in hospital. She should leave the children alone. Why? A married woman must choose between love and her children. She chose love. Well, now she must face the consequences. At least that was the way I was brought up.
There are other ways of looking at it.
Are there? Her lover left her. Well, that was hard luck. She was so stupid. She thought because she went into the marriage rich, she'd come out of it rich. But if a woman's the guilty party in a divorce, the money stays with her husband. Seems fair to me. He has to look after the children, isn't he?
Why shouldn't she look after them?
It's not morally fit. Not if she's an adulteress.
Oh, bad.
I should never have let her in. She was so cold and upset, I didn't know what to do. I suppose I should have to tell the professor. Perhaps I should tell Hetty when she gets back and she can tell him after I've gone. Perhaps I should just marry Philip and be done with it. Marry Philip? I told Grandmama and she really surprised me. She said the worst cruelty in the world was to separate a woman from her children. But what about the children? If the mother is immoral, self-pitying and hysterical, then surely cruelty to her, if cruelty it is, would be a kindness to the children. Poor thing. One mistake and a woman's whole life gone. It just isn't right. Well, I seem to be the only one left in the world with any sense of morality. I shall certainly tell the professor when he gets back. He's due back this evening. He'll know what to do.
I would have enough loyalty, constancy, and self-respect to love only my husband forever and ever. Till death doth us part, cleaving the one unto the other and so forth. No matter what the temptation. So otherwise, why marry?
Quite so, old girl. True blue and so forth.
Well, wouldn't you?
It's different for a chap.
I don't think that's fair.
Well, just the way a chap's made, old girl. Shall we not talk about it? The sooner you're out of this job, the better. See me side of life and all that. I'll be off. Chap can't be seen walking children.
Can't he?
Not if he's got any self-respect, old gal. Toodaloo, you look after yourself, Babs. As I say, here's hoping.
There you are, Doris. At last. 5 minutes late. Of course, I don't mind in the least, but it means one of the staff has to look after them until the nursemaid remembers where her duties lie.
Sorry.
And will you ask the professor to come in and see us tomorrow? Why? That is between me and the professor. Kiara? Athena? Lily? Doris is here. There is quite poorly. I do hope it's not infectious. It might be better if you kept her at home tomorrow. If that doesn't interfere with your free time, of course. I'm surprised you saw fit to bring her today, poor little mite. You're happy today?
Oh, Mummy.
Where?
You went out to play. She looked over the fence. Is Mummy a ghost? I like ghosts.
the look of it. The dishcloths haven't been washed once, let alone soaked. The laundry's been and gone, and the bag wash, and no one here to take it in. See this note on the mat?
Oh, that's what it is. I thought it was some kind of circular. Hetty,
And do you leave a circular lying on the mat for how long? Until the mice eat it? How were you brought up? Not a trap has been set, I see. 2 dead mice under here. What is it? Ladies in charge. Your agency was highly recommended by an acquaintance of the professor, but since the war, anyone will recommend anyone, so it seems.
Children like me. They're sleeping peacefully upstairs. I even made them smile, Hetty. Doesn't that make up for anything?
No.
Hetty, I was so sorry to hear about your sister.
Don't change the subject. It was my brother.
Edith at the school told me all about it. I'm sorry.
Edith at the school will tell anybody anything that comes into her head.
Her sister wasn't hanged.
What are you wishing on me, Doris?
She didn't jump with her baby into the river off Westminster Bridge.
Edith told you that. The poor girl has a screw loose. That's the case in all the papers. Though I don't see what all the fuss is about. Murder is murder, and she deserved to die.
But she was only 17.
8 is the age of criminal responsibility. And she's a long way over 8. Or was. What is this?
Wednesday's shepherd's pie.
Shepherd's pie is Tuesday. Sunday roast, Monday cold, Tuesday shepherd's pie, Wednesday sausages. You know nothing.
Hetty, I have to tell you something. The children's mother.
What about her?
She isn't dead. She's alive.
She's morally dead. She hasn't been causing trouble again.
You should have warned me.
You didn't let her in.
Yes.
Can't you tell a mad woman when you see one?
She didn't seem mad, just upset. I've seen wives like that before in the war, after their husbands died. Mothers when their sons were killed. Of course she did wrong. I know she did wrong, but just thinking about her seems to make the children happy, let alone seeing her.
It's nothing to do with us. Her young man ran off with a nursemaid. What a mess. Well, that's what happens when women step out of line. Everybody loses and nobody gains. And for what? Sex. Disgusting even to think of it. Sex after all. Perhaps it was love. Well, that doesn't make it any better.
Yes, it does. Oh, I'm so confused.
I can see that. Mess and muddle. Mess and muddle. I'll just pop upstairs before the professor gets back to see how you've ruined things up there. I suppose you did change the sheets.
Sheets?
Oh. Children, you wicked girl, you should never have let her in. She was seen where the bedrooms are, how the front door locked, taken the spare key. It's all your fault.
My fault?
What are we going to tell the professor? Quick, run for the
No.
Are you out of your mind?
No. In it.
It's not possible. How can she have taken them? She has nowhere to take them. But her family, perhaps. Yes, her family. Her mean, grasping, vulgar, ignorant family. Oh, she's a monstrous woman. She's evil through and through. She'll take them, corrupt them, and turn them into her. What hope do they have now?
I wanted to call the police, but Doris wouldn't let me.
Are you involved in this in some way? An accomplice of my wife, perhaps?
No. On the contrary. But now she has them. I'm glad.
How did she look? How did my wife look? Tell me. She was so beautiful. Is she still beautiful?
She was upset.
She's highly strung. I should never have taken her where it was so dull and damp. Oh, it was monstrous of me. She has the soul of an artist, not a housefrau. What can I do for the children? I am dull and dry, lonely. They need life, chatter, noise. Good evening, sir.
Zoe has a fever. It isn't safe for her to travel. I had to bring them back. Ernest, I can't take them from you. You're their father. They love you. What shall I do?
And you can't live without them. And that's the fact of it. Oh, my poor Susan. You're so pale and thin.
You've punished me. How you have punished me. But I never meant to hurt you, Ernest. I just didn't know what was important.
Neither did I, my dear. My dear Susan. It's me you can't live without.
I know. What shall we do?
Doris. Hold you again.
She hasn't a fever. No. She meant to bring them back all the time.
Sarah, Athena, come back to bed. You can see Daddy in the morning. And Mummy too, I expect. You'd have thought he'd have said thank you, Doris. Or she'd have said how well things have turned out thanks to you, Doris. But no, they were too busy holding each other's hands over the breakfast marmalade to even notice I was going, let alone ask me to stay longer. And then the children were late for school. Now I'll never know what happens next. But he smiled. He was so good looking. Intelligent people always are, of course.
I know it's not the time or place, old girl, but you can't keep a fellow in tender hooks forever.
I think what we have is too nice and ordinary to be true love. Don't you, Philip? Of course, it might change. Could I sort of possibly keep the proposal for a rainy day?
Chaff will just have to grit the old teeth, I suppose. Wait for the rain.
The ladies in charge become involved in another mystery at the same time next week. That'll be at 9 o'clock.